How's everybody doing out there? This is the Cool Club. I want to talk about would The Rock make a good apocalypse? The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. I think that he would, especially compared to the one that we got in the last X-Men film in Oscar Isaac. I mean, Oscar Isaac is a great actor to me, just not in that role. He was too weak looking. He looked gaunt. He was old, of course. They tried with the way that they played it. He was like a mummy sucking the life from everyone. That's not how I look at Apocalypse. Not from the 97 cartoon, not from the comic books. That's not how we see Apocalypse. So Dwayne Johnson, I think that he will make a great apocalypse, and I'm going to give you the pros and the cons because I was commenting on Facebook, and I have a lot of people weighing in on this, and some people, they're with it, and some people they don't like The Rock for some reason, but and they don't feel that he has range. I want to get into the pros. The pros is the muscle build and his size. The Rock is like 6 feet five, 6'5", or maybe taller, and he's huge, like as far as muscle build. So that's how he already has that down as far as the look, and he also is bald, and he's has the look of a guy from Egypt. He's biracial, so he has an ambiguous look. You saw him playing characters like the Scorpion King, playing characters like Hercules. You see how his range can go as far as his look. You wouldn't have to use much CGI. Like you can use him. You can see in the picture here. You can use his likeness and just tweak it a bit. Tweak it, make it look more. Make it look how they had Oscar Isaac's makeup. Really don't even make it look anything like that. Don't do anything that had to do with anything with Oscar Isaac's Apocalypse. Nothing. That was Ivan Ooze. Don't do anything. Matter of fact, scratch that. No, but look at the comics. Look at these pictures that I'm posting here, and do is get the Rock's CG and makeup like that. But don't use too much CG. Too much CG is ruining films these days. It ruined the new Predator. Like you need practical effects with CG. The less CG you have to use, the better. So that's number one. I think he has the look down. I think he has the acting chops to pull it off. He has experience in doing comic book and action films. He's done Black Adam, done all those Fast and Furious films. He's an action star, kind of like he's the modern day Arnold Schwarzenegger. Um, I don't think you need Shakespearean acting chops to do comic book films. Like I don't. He's definitely on the acting level of a Tom Holland or something. Somebody like that. Like I don't understand. Me personally, I think I think he has range. The films where he's shown that I would say is Pain and Gain, Snitch, Skyscraper, Be Cool. That was totally like out of the Rock's character. Um, the same with where I would say Pain and Gain, Walking Tall, the Scorpion King. He shows some range there. Um, and you also have, you could say, Doom, where he played a complete villain. The Rock has a dark side to him. We could see that from him being the final boss in WWE. And also, as I said, the film with Mark Wahlberg called Pain and Gain, where he basically plays a ex-con drug addict who ends up getting convicted for murder and fraud and he kidnaps him and Mark Wahlberg and Anthony Mackie kidnaps a guy. And so you'll see that, and I want you to actually, you can check out the movie if you want. I don't want to spoil it for you, but that's actually a great movie. I liked Pain and Gain. Also, in Doom, The Rock completely turned into a villain. Like there was no anti-hero to it. He was a complete butthole, two-faced villain in Doom. I think that he can take it a bit further and become a villain with a god complex. I don't think that it'll be a bad thing. And it's again, this is The Rock, so taking on a bunch of people would be more believable. See, with the Thanos, they had Josh Brolin, but they used a lot of CG. I mean, I liked Thanos. That was dope. That was cool. But I think I don't see why you would see The Rock is not being able to pull off Apocalypse. Like again, it's not Shakespeare. But the cons. Let's get to the cons. I do hear what a lot of people say about how The Rock plays The Rock in every film. Apart from those films that I named, a lot of that, like Jumanji and movies like that, he is playing The Rock. And The Rock made a couple of silly films as well. I don't like those comedy rock movies. I'm not into those really, like the Tooth Fairy and stuff like that. That's not for me. Um, I think that despite the Rock's emotional character arc, like from the Rocky Maivia and the Nation of Domination, like being despised by the crowd for trying to be a good guy, and then becoming a flat out heel. Like these were the character. Like I think the Rock's biggest character arcs and that you can see in his showing his range were in WWE. But despite all of that and people seeing that, I think they really only see like that one era of the Rock, like the Hollywood Rock, and they only see it like they're. I see on Twitter and stuff, people are look. He's losing fans because people are saying they're taking his outside life and putting it into acting. Like I understand, because again, that would bring me to another con that people say about The Rock. They'll say that he's tries to preserve his image, like he picks the safe picks of movies. Some will say like he tries to do everything safe, and oh, I don't want to be to have this role or take this role. It's gonna mess my image up, or I can like no, we don't like people who really are into the to movies and who are even into the characters themselves, the person. Like we want to see them take on different range, nothing weird, but the fans want to see you in roles, do the roles that you're in. They want to see you do them justice and show them respect, and not bring the Rock character. "Oh, I got my Rock image has to be preserved," and you end up messing up the film. So I can totally understand what people are saying there. Um, And that brings me to the last con that people are saying is those contractual issues, to where The Rock is saying that he can't lose a fight in a film because it'll mess up his WWE image. You only at WWE like maybe uh, 10 days out of the year, man. Really realistically, like maybe 2 months out of the year. And that's not every year. I know The Rock comes back often, but you're not there a lot. And you lose in WWE as well. Don't take the people for being stupid. That would be extremely arrogant of The Rock and disrespectful to the fans to think that we don't know the difference. To think that we don't know the difference, and at the same time that we don't see haven't saw The Rock lose matches before. We understand this is scripted fighting. We understand it's entertainment. I find it hard to believe that The Rock would even would have a contract like that. But if that's true, I think that would be arrogant of him, and that would be a con that I could understand. That would be like thinking that after he lost the fight to Brandon Fraser in the Mummy 2, that I think automatically that he was gonna miss his fight with John Cena. Like we're not stupid. We know the two don't cross over and equate, Rock. So I don't really believe that that's true. But I think that he'll play a good Apocalypse. I think that they need to start to think about that. He's like I said, the last action hero that we have. So those type of roles are meant for him. You know, Black Adam, a lot of people didn't like, but I thought that it was just as good as any of these other movies that come out. It just was an origin story. You know, people have a problem with him being like OP, but that was just like a build up story. I thought that it was better than Aquaman, and I enjoyed it more than that last Thor. So it was like I said, I don't get the criticism of for that movie. I'll have to do a separate video on that. But go ahead and try that out. You can get the voice right. You can tweak the voice the same way they do Darth Vader, but keep the Rock's voice, but just change like put a voice over it, like put an effect over the voice is what I'm saying. This like how they did in the new Transformers movie, the main villain, their Scourge. There's an effect on the voice. Just do that. Let The Rock speak the lines, but put a deep in the voice and put an effect on it. I'm sure he can do that. Watch the cartoon, man, and it will be pulled off because these X-Men movies, a lot of those I could get on those of a lot of things that they didn't do right. Even from the initial choosing of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, like even though Hugh Jackman made it work, that man don't look like Wolverine from the comics and from the show. So I think that that would be a good choice. But hey, you tell me what you think in the comments. This is the Cool Club. I am the Glitch Trap. I'm gone.